Welcome to Overeducated and Underemployed. I'm Fedden. I've got a really cool episode this week with Mike White, a rock photographer who he's photographed some of the biggest names in the world. Paul McCartney, Radiohead, U2, REM, AC/DC, Nine Inch Nails, Sonic Youth, Soundgarden, Philip Glass, Depeche Mode, New Order. The list goes on. Photographed most everybody that I've interviewed on this podcast, at least musician-wise. He's done a lot of photography for Slightly Famous Somebodies. He does the photography for Sloan Brothers. Anyway, we talked at the end of AthFest. He was the official AthFest 2025 photographer, and I was out in the sun all day as well. It was hot. We were exhausted, but I think we just fed off each other's energy, and we ended up having a really great conversation despite our exhaustion. But if you hear a little bit of hoarseness in my voice and a little bit of exhaustion in my tone, just understand that it was super hot all weekend, and Sunday all the shows were outside. I met with Jen Bryant, and then I went and saw a bunch of shows, and Mike and I got together about 9 o'clock that night. So anyway, without further ado, here's my interview with Mike White, photographer. Thanks for listening. All right. Welcome to Overeducated and Underemployed. I'm here with Mike White, graphic designer, photographer, visual artist. I don't even know how to label you because you seem to do so much. What do you, like, if somebody asks you, like, what do you do in terms of art, like, how do you answer them?
I mean, the whole reason I got into I mostly take like live concert photos and photos related to music in some way, and really the way I got into that is I was already going to shows, and I liked photography, so I figured why not combine them. You know, it kind of gave me like kind of a purpose other than just being an attendee, and then that gave me also a way to give back to the music community, like share my photos with the artist. And so really, I mean, at this point, I've been doing it for, I guess, 20 years now, so like I didn't have the like idea of it being like a historical record of sorts, but enough time passes and then you look back and you see how much things have changed since you started, especially documenting one scene, and you're like, wow, that band doesn't exist, those people have passed away, they're no longer with us. And being in a college town, bands come and go. There might be a band that you fall in love with, and then they're gone in 6 months. And it's nice to have some sort of documentation that band existed, because they may
not ever get into the studio.
Yeah, that's definitely has been the case, and so it's nice that I've had several people tell me, we're very thankful for your photos because there's nothing else that proves we existed, really.
That's a trip.
I'm like, well, right. So, like, I mean, as far as these days, I mean, I still do it because I love doing it. I love this town and musicians in general. I'm not a musician, so I have an appreciation of the people that can do something I can't do, and so just being able to document them doing their thing, and it's just I guess I wasn't really going into it. I didn't really realize the value it would have until later on. It was more, I'm at a show, I want to document it, I want to share my photos with the bands. And then now 20 years later, they're like, hey, we're running an exhibit on the house show scene in Athens. Do you have any photos of these venues? And I was like, yeah. And like, there in town there was this venue called the Ultramod, and I took photos there. I only got to see a couple shows there, but I took photos, and in between bands, I was just killing time. So I walked around and just took photos of the back of doors. It was like plastered with old show flyers, and I just like, it was just the general vibe. And 20 years later, not thinking anything would come of it, they were of use for a museum, like the special collections library here used them. So you just never know. So, but yeah, I
How often do you think you do know that what you're taking a photo of is something like that is like significant in some way to somebody, or okay, this is just another night? Do you have any sense of that, or is it kind of just?
I mean, there's sometimes, just because of the nature of the event, it's like a one-off thing.
Right. Yeah.
So
that happens a lot in the city.
Yeah. So like one thing that comes to mind is last year when Michael Shannon did his REM tribute. And at that particular show, all the members of REM got on stage together for the first time in 18 years.
News.
Yeah, and so like that, I knew that was a big deal in the moment. And yeah, so probably it's fairly rare. Most of the times it's just another show or event, but sometimes you just know.
You realize later that it was really important to somebody.
Yeah. You just never know the meaning of something to somebody, and like I've taken photos of shows, and then a week later the person passed away, and you're like, you had no idea, like.
You have some of the last photos in the live or performing, or.
Yeah, and so you
don't even know that. Yeah, I mean, obviously you don't know, but in that situation, so.
Yeah, and it also makes you. I mean, sometimes it's I have a day job, and so I'm trying to balance my day job with going out at night. So sometimes it can be a challenge to find it to go out, and
for sure.
But once I'm out, I'm very happy. I'm out there, and
man, I can relate to that. It's like sometimes you're just like sitting at home, like, fuck, I know I should go. Even like the moment you just make like the call to go, you're always glad you did.
Yeah.
You're always glad you went to the show.
It's just like getting up. I have a kitty, so the kitty's on my lap. I'm on my couch. I'm like, all right, let's do it. We gotta go. And but yeah, another thing that really, when the lockdown happened in 2020 and music stopped for a year and a half, all those photos I had became, I guess, more important. Like, you just
memories for people.
Yeah, memories, and also like, up until that point, it was just a given that you would always have concerts, you would always go out, you would always be able to do this, and then all of a sudden it stopped for a year and a half, and then for like a while after that, it was kind of, things could shut down again, tours were being canceled, and so during that time when music wasn't happening, I looked back through my archive and just kind of brought back
time to sit with it and appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, so many memories were triggered from just looking at the photos, things that I would have never remembered otherwise. And then so when music did start back, I tried to appreciate and I try to be present anyway, but I try to even be more present in the moment, and.
Do you think that, and it sounded to me like it does, but do you think that like taking photos was like part of how you were able to stay present at shows in the first place?
Yeah. I mean, it's
Like,
yeah.
let me give you an example. Like, I've got ADHD,
Uh-huh.
and it's never that I'm bored, but sometimes I just want to have something to do, man.
Yeah. It is. I mean, it does give me like a sense of purpose, like it, and that's another reason that is motivation for me to get out there. I'm like, okay, well, I need these photos. I need to take these photos.
Yeah.
Not that people are like necessarily relying on them and asking me for them.
Well, and then all of a sudden they did though.
Yeah.
Like COVID hit, and it sounds like all of a sudden everybody kind of was relying on you for your photos that you had taken already. Like.
Yeah, I mean, I can't, it's hard to say how many shows, because I take photos of every show, almost every show I go to,
Right.
So it's hard to say how many shows I would actually go to, probably, maybe nearly as much. But I mean, there are some trade-offs with taking photos, like, I don't get to be as social, really, as I normally would, like.
I mean, we've texted this weekend infinitely more than we've seen each other face to face, and we've been at the same music festival.
Yeah.
Like, I mean that's exactly right. Like I get it. Like, because even if somebody sees you, if they like, they're not gonna like be like, hey, because you're in the middle of taking photos.
Yeah.
Like nobody's gonna interrupt you from your work.
Yeah.
Unless they're just really drunk. But
well, it's like if I'm going to see a show like at the 40 Watt or something, I usually get there early.
Yeah.
And I just, depending on the show, I usually go straight up the front and I just sit there like I gotta like claim my spot. I'm always of the mindset of I don't want to be one of those photographers that like shows up at the last minute and like shoves their way to the front. I don't want to be rude.
What's the difference for you when you have like a media pass or something like that or you're like sent on an assignment for an article? Because I know you get commissioned to do things like that a lot.
Yeah.
But also like you just go to shows and take photos. How do you approach that differently?
Well, a lot of times not all the time, but sometimes if you have a photo pass, a media pass, there's a photo pit. So normally it's like the first 3 songs. You get 3 songs up front, and then you go out into the crowd. So there's less of a urgency to get there super early because you know that you can just get into the photo pit.
Does that allow you to, I think, be a little bit more present and take better photos instead of worrying about like all these other things, or is it just nice?
It's nice, but when I'm limited to 3 songs, it's almost like I don't even hear the music because it's such a like, I mean, I like got 3 songs, that's all I have, so I got to make sure I make the most of these 3 songs. So
and then you join the show.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the 3 songs is over, and if you would have asked me what songs they played, I would have no idea because I'm just like in the zone of
there's
trying.
There's other nerds in the audience. Setlist FM isn't run by photographers.
But for the rest of the time, I can't take photos, so I can put my camera away and then I'm just enjoying the show.
So you're not even allowed to take photos from the crowd with your professional camera after that, typically?
Depends, but I mean, it depends. Like sometimes you can shoot the first 3 up front and then you can shoot from the house the rest of the show. Some other times you have to put your camera gear up in your car after your first 3.
Oh, wow.
For like bigger shows like arena and like
But they allow you to do that.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they have like a locker that you can check in.
So I'm thinking about what you just said combined with that fact, and I'm like, that actually sounds pretty fucking great. Because if you're forced to not worry about it the rest of the night, then you really do just get to be present and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
And like this all started with you just being a fan,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And same with me. I have a theory, joke, whatever. It's a funny theory, I suppose you could call it. Is it like all rock stars are wannabe comedians, but all comedians are wannabe rock stars too.
I can see that.
And I think like something that I'm already seeing that you and I have in common, and and Jen Bryant have in common is like, first and foremost, we're just music fans.
Yeah.
And then we try and do something productive with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask you the same question I've asked everybody that's been on this podcast, and I will tell you, it has given an array of answers. There's not a wrong answer. It'll lead somewhere interesting. What's the first song you remember loving, like as a child?
My first song that I ever really loved is actually a pretty questionable song for probably a 2-year-old to like, but it's the correct answer to your question, and that's "Baby's Got Her Blue Jeans On" by Mel McDaniel. Do you know that one?
I do.
And so for whatever,
I've never heard of anybody knowing what their favorite song was at 2 years old.
I mean,
that's kind of amazing.
I mean, it was released in 1984.
Yeah.
I was born in 82. I mean, maybe a little. Yeah. It may have been a little shortly after, but it was on the radio, and I just loved that song. My parents, I grew up.
I remember like asking who did it and stuff like that.
I mean, I didn't find out till way later who actually the artist was. I mean, I would sing along with it when I was a little kid, and
so it didn't matter who it was by. You just loved the song.
Yeah, and like, you know, it wasn't until years later that I actually revisited the song and read the lyrics, and I was like, this is not an appropriate song.
Most of them.
Especially for like a 2 to 3-year-old.
Some of them are pretty questionable.
But that, you know, I remember my mom got the cassette, I think, and she would play it, and I would sing along, and it was just on the radio, and I would get really excited whenever it came on the radio.
What was the first thing that you went and got from the record store, like for you? Like, whether your parents took you or on your own, but like you remember you were like, okay, I want to get this. I want this for myself.
It was probably, I mean, one of the first records that I really wanted was 9 Inch Nails, A Downward Spiral.
Oh, yeah.
And that was like 94 or so.
Yeah.
And the thing is at that point they had the, you know,
definitely not for 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
12-year-olds.
So my mom had to buy it for me.
Yeah.
So, and she's like, does this have any cussing in it? And I was like, well, yeah. And she's like, does it have a lot? I'm like, not anymore than I hear in day to day. She's like, okay. And so, but yeah, so she bought it for me. But I mean, I grew up with country and like country music mostly, and like 60s and 70s, like pop music basically.
Did you ever like rebel against that stuff, or did you kind of consistently like it?
I embraced it. I mean, I liked it, and that was also, I'm an only child. My parents would go see concerts in the 90s, and so they would take, it was easy enough for them to buy me a ticket, and so I went to concerts all through like 8 years old and up. And
what was your first concert that you remember? Do you remember?
Yeah, I had to look it up because they all kind of ran together. But then I'm like, I got to figure out what my first one was, and I figured it out that the first concert was Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers at the Omni in Atlanta.
Holy shit!
And
that's wild.
And that was 1990, and the only thing I remember from that show is they came and they sang "Islands in the Stream" together, and people just lost it. It was one of those sit down. It was one of the shows where you sit down and fan yourself shows. But once they started that song, they like got up and started dancing. And so, I always remember that. And so that had to be my first show because that was
nice. Did you take a picture at that show?
No.
Of any kind?
No. But my first
camcorder or anything like that? Nothing?
Sadly, no. I'm
curious because when did you start taking pictures, whether it was of music or otherwise? Like, when were you like, okay, like taking pictures is fun?
Well, this didn't start, there wasn't like consistently taking photos after this point, but my first concert photo was at one of those country concerts that my parents took me to.
Ooh.
And that was Diamond Rio.
Oh, I remember
that was like 93. They got
My Maria, was that their song?
Yeah, and they had that Meet in the Middle song too.
My Maria though.
Yeah.
Was that with, I could be wrong.
I think that's them.
I'm gonna look it up while we talk.
Yeah.
I feel like it might be like Brooks and Dunn though.
Maybe that is Brooks and Dunn. I saw them too, but yeah. So there was the place that we would see concerts at. They would let people just come up and take photos. My mom gave me her 35 millimeter camera, and I went up and took some pictures of Diamond Rio. But I always liked taking photos with my mom's camera on vacations and stuff, but I really didn't.
Yeah, Maria's Brooks and Dunn, but there was like How Your Love Makes Me Feel, One More Day, Beautiful Mess, and I Believe, all in the span of like 5 years that they put out, from 97 to 2003. And
the Diamond Rio song, I thought they had stuff earlier.
They had the Meet Me in the Middle was 91.
Okay.
But then they had 32 more songs between then and 2006, and 4 more of them hit number 1.
Wow.
How Your Love Makes Me Feel, One More Day, Beautiful Mess, but Me in the Middle, I think, is the one that...
I think they were touring on that album.
Yeah, 91.
Yeah, it was around that time.
Yeah, I think, so I'm a visual guy. I don't know, I'm guessing you are too. Is that the one?
Yeah, I remember they were selling those shirts with that design.
Yeah, that's wild.
So I took photos of that, but then really I didn't start taking photos regularly until in 2003. Mm-hmm. I did a college program at Disney World in Florida, which you're familiar with.
I am. I even have jokes about Disney World.
Oh. Well,
I'll send you the clip after.
All right. Well, I'm a Disney nerd, so
you'll get the joke.
So I went down there to do a college program, and I bought a little point and shoot camera because I was like, I want to document my time during this college program. So I took photos like every day during that college program, mostly just me and my roommates goofing off, but of the parks and people that we met and all that stuff. And so during the college program, we went and saw some shows at the House of Blues in Orlando.
Yeah, I saw Weird Al there.
That's cool.
I was like 13.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, I've seen him 8 times total, but I'm taking my kid to see him.
That's awesome.
I think that was the first time I ever saw him, was the House of Blues.
That was cool. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. It's on like the Universal thing, right?
Yeah, it's part of it. Well, it was previously called Downtown Disney.
Oh, Disney. Sorry,
yeah.
Not Universal.
And now they call it something else, but
Universal has another one now. What is it?
Yeah, they basically made their version of it.
Another venue kind of thing. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh yeah, there's is it Hard Rock Cafe?
That's exactly what it is, and that's where I saw Weird Al.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, no, they have Hard Rock Live at Universal.
Oh yeah.
They have House of Blues at Disney.
Okay.
I saw Newfound Glory in 1999 at the House of Blues in Orlando. I saw Weird
Nice.
Al at the
Nice.
Hard Rock. Wires crossed.
So
One
it's,
of them's still around.
yeah, so as part of the taking photos every day, as part of that Disney program, I took my point and shoot camera to those concerts I went to at the House of Blues. And then when the program was over, I came back and really just got energized about, I had seen concerts like before that on my own, but you know, like a couple a year, not like too many. But then once I moved back, I got like really invigorated about seeing music.
So did like photography help you want to see more shows?
I guess so. And it was also like I had a room, one of my roommates at Disney was this guy named Drew, and he's from the Portland area.
Okay.
And so he turned me on to a lot of indie stuff that I just wasn't familiar with, and he was going to shows and just
About what time of like what year?
this is
around
2003.
Okay. So you're living in Orlando around 2003, working at Disney, you got roommates, taking photos, but blogging is not really quite, I mean, it's kind of a thing at that point, but certainly no YouTube or TikTok or
No.
social media didn't exist.
I mean, there's MySpace then, but not
Barely.
Yeah, barely.
The reason I say that is it almost sounds like you were like creating social media content before social media existed.
I mean,
Like unintentionally.
yeah, I mean, I guess they could have been up on a blog or social media, but didn't have anywhere to put them.
So what were you doing with them? When you would go to these shows and take all these photos, what would you do?
At that point, I didn't really do much with them.
But you kept them.
I kept them, yeah. And then, but then when
I feel like the most important part of that, to be fair.
yeah, I kept them, and then when I moved back to Georgia, I started going to see more shows, like at the Cotton Club and Masquerade, and
I saw Muse at the Cotton Club.
Oh, nice.
Before they were
Yeah.
one of the biggest bands in the world. And the singer played 3 songs, and he fucking busted his lip open on his microphone. They canceled the rest of the tour.
No, over a busted lip.
There was blood everywhere.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
there was blood everywhere.
Must have been teeth involved.
He does this weird vocal effects. He had this like second microphone. I think it was almost like he was, like he like wrapped his lips around this microphone.
Oh man.
I think there was like a piece of metal that caught it and
literally
tore his lip in half.
Oh.
Because they canceled the rest of the tour.
Man, that's pretty.
Not just that night. And then they said, okay, we're going on tour with The Cure.
Yeah.
And if you have if you bought a ticket at that Cotton Club show, you can either get a refund or you can come see us open for The Cure. And I think it was Hi-Fi Buys Amphitheater at that point. It had been Lakewood, but then it became Hi-Fi Buys. And then, whatever. I don't even know what the fuck it's called now, but I couldn't go. Like, I literally, I didn't get a refund, and I also couldn't go. So I've never seen The Cure, and I've seen Muse play 3 songs at the Cotton Club. which I'm like, dude, like 3 songs at the Cotton Club is.
That's pretty cool.
It's kind of legendary, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, like there was only like 50 of us there, I think. You know.
Yeah.
Like, people were still filtering in.
What? It's over.
I was there when Butch Walker tore his Achilles tendon too, so maybe I'm just a bad omen, man. I was like 13 when
it's a good thing you didn't go to that Cure show. Robert.
You know what I'm talking about though. Like Butch Walker, they released Ready Sex Go, or they were about to release Ready Sex Go. Marvelous 3 was. I'm at a music festival in Dothan, Alabama. Like Jefferson Starship had played. And Butch finished the fucking song with a torn Achilles tendon.
Oof. Trooper.
Song. The only reason I'm thinking of all of that is just because like there's these moments that I feel like people like you, me, Jen Bryant, we just happen to be there for.
Yeah.
What does that feel like when that happens to you? Like when you just happen to be in the right place at the right time for this like fucking amazing thing. or horrible thing that ends up being at least interesting.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I guess I'm thankful. Like, I mean, not that something bad happens, but that. I mean,
Bad shit's gonna happen.
whether it's bad or good, it's
Right.
still like noteworthy in history. So it's like you're witnessing history, whether it be good or bad. Um, like I didn't take photos of this because they weren't allowing any photographers, but I saw Prince's last show, and I had no idea it was going to be his last show.
Holy shit.
And that was it. And it's one of those things like when I was there, I had no idea that was.
Let me ask you this. As a photographer, had you known it was his last show, what lengths would you have gone to get a camera in?
I mean, I had my phone with me. I took a photo of the stage before he took the stage, so I have a photo from the show at night. But I mean, I saw photos that other people took.
Great photos anyway.
The one I saw was pretty good, but like
Does anyone look good right before they're about to die?
he was dancing around. I mean,
I'm just being an asshole. But I guess my point is like, how dedicated, like, how much of this is like, and I don't mean dedicated, but like, how much do you consider yourself like a guy that's in the right place in the right time with a camera, and how much do you consider yourself like a photojournalist?
I mean, to go back to your question, like, I don't know. I mean, if I would have somehow knew that was his last concert ever, I may have, because basically if they saw you with your camera out, you were kicked out immediately. So I may have tried to take a couple, but then also like maybe the last song. So like I don't really want to get kicked out of Prince's last show ever either.
Right. Right. Yeah. Like, but I think we're actually exposing something interesting. Like, are you a fan or a photographer first?
I'm a fan first.
Fuck
like,
yeah.
it's like I'd rather play by the rules, whatever rules and the art the band has. Like, I'm cool with whatever, even if I don't agree with whatever policies.
Right.
Got to respect it. And
sometimes it has nothing to do with the band or even the venue. It might be like an insurance policy or something, right? Like, so at a certain point, you just stop questioning it. You're just like, okay, fine.
And what's interesting is, I mean, there's sometimes where one of the things people don't realize maybe about shooting shows professionally is like you don't really get to, there's like a lot of hoops you have to jump through, and sometimes it's just not worth it. Like, there's been shows where I got a photo pass, but I ended up missing like half the show because I'm like, they didn't bring us in till halfway through the set, and so you're missing that, and then you have to put your camera gear up, so you're missing songs there. So like, sure, you got to take photos of the show, but you only got to see like half the set. So is that worth it to you? And sometimes yes, sometimes no. There's been big acts that I'm like, okay, if I ever get a chance to see them, I'm going to see them as a fan first, because when you're been at it long enough, you kind of know like what people's rules are and all the hoops involved. So you're like,
especially when you're operating like in the same venues and kind of region.
Yeah, like, photographers talk.
Well, and I've seen you travel from Tampa to Nashville just in like the last 6 months.
Yeah.
It's not like you were just stuck in this like small area, but yeah, I get it. It gets to be kind of like common knowledge among groups of people, just like almost just like hardcore fans of a band.
Yeah.
You know?
And so like Paul McCartney, for instance, I was like, okay, if I ever get a chance to see Paul McCartney, I'll go see him as a fan and not buy a ticket. I mean, buy a ticket and just go. And so I did that, and I'm like, if I ever get a second chance to see him, then I'll go through all the hoops. That way I at least have that. I saw like a whole show, and everything was good. So that way, if I miss out on a lot, then it's not like my only time that I ever got to see him, and I missed out on all the stuff. So, and also, yeah, you just miss out on a good bit. I mean, most of the time you get a free ticket, so like you miss out, but it's not costing you anything, so you're not really like. So it's a trade-off, and there's sometimes there's bands that I like that I just, or even venues that I know their policies, and I'm like, especially when it's like soundboard shoot where you have to be like way far back. Sometimes I'm like, it's not worth it. I want to see the show, but I would rather be up front than have to like be way far back taking photos and then have to miss half the show. And so sometimes I just don't even bother with it. But there's other times where, fans actually can take better photos than the professional photographers, because there's been some shows where I didn't bother going through getting a photo pass, and I just brought I have a Fujifilm like point and shoot camera, and I just get like a front row ticket, and I like take my photos from the front row, and I don't have to deal with any of the hoops. I'm just there as a fan. I'm just taking photos. Just happens to be like a nicer camera.
So do you shoot on film?
No, it's all digital.
Cool. Did you at one point shoot on film and then like switch to digital, or have you always shot digital?
I mean, I've had a film camera, but I've always shot concerts with digital camera.
So, what point did you go from just loving music, wanting to take photos, to being more like, okay, I want to do this like regularly?
I guess when I moved to Athens.
When did you move to Athens from? Was it directly from Orlando?
No, I moved. I was in Orlando in 2003, and then I moved back to. I was living with my parents. And then I was there for another couple years, and then in 2006, I moved to Athens. And so before Athens, I was traveling to Atlanta or Athens.
Where did you grow up?
In Riverdale, which is by like College Park, by the Atlanta airport, sort of.
So like, not like super far away from any of this, but you weren't like in the middle of it all as a kid either.
No, I was like 15 minutes from Atlanta.
But your parents were really into music, took you to shows, it sounds like.
Yeah, they took me to country concerts, and they would play music around the house all the time.
Do you think you still primarily listen to like country or like at least like rock or southern rock, or do you think that you've moved to listen to a lot of different stuff nowadays?
Well, I mean, I mostly listen to stuff that's not country, but I still like that type of country. I don't really care for the poppy country, but like the country that's more like honky tonk and or outlaw country.
Yeah, like when that band played some Dwight Yoakam tonight.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah, there's some bands that my parents never did take me to that when they came through Athens, like Dwight Yoakam, I saw him at the Georgia Theater. So, and then like Willie Nelson, never got to see him with my parents, but so I still have a love for that music.
Yeah.
But I mean, even in my teens, I was still, like I mentioned, Nine Inch Nails was like the first record, so like that's way different than country.
I mean, I was listening to the Hate Machine like a week ago on my record player, so like you're in good company. I get exactly what you mean, because it's like, in fact, Kane.
Oh, from Slightly Famous Somebody?
Yeah, from Slightly Famous Somebody. So Kane Stanley. last night our conversation ended with, I was like, there's two kinds of music, and we just looked at each other and in unison we said, good music and bad music.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those, like, all right, I see you.
Yeah.
But also, facts.
Yeah. There's some music where
It's on your bucket list to shoot or see or both.
Well,
If you, in an ideal world, both at the same show, you get to stick your shit. You get 3 songs, and then you get to stick your shit in a locker. It takes you 30 seconds. So there's no hassle. You get your 3 songs, and then you enjoy the rest of the fucking show as a fan. Who's on your bucket list?
well, my bucket list really, I mean, if I count like bands that it's still realistic to be able to see, you know,
Let's
like
do separate ones. Let's do like, you know, ones that are alive and you're dead. You're dead.
well, my live one would be Rage Against the Machine.
Nice.
And I mean, I had tickets to see them a couple of years ago, and then Zach De La Rocha tore his Achilles tendon, and then he
How
sat.
did they do that? It's the second Achilles
Were you at that
tendon.
show? Were you at that show where he tore
God
it?
damn it. No, I wasn't. The only Achilles tendon I've seen torn.
Oh, okay.
Was Butch Walker's, but I do think it's weird that you had tickets and we're sitting here now.
Yeah, I had tickets to see him in Detroit, and he did some shows sitting down, and it was still great, even though he had to sit down. But then they canceled the rest of the tour, and now they're saying they're done. So, like, you know, I never know whether to really believe a band when they say they're done. I'll believe they're done when they're all dead.
You know who I
Basically at
believe
this
when
point.
they said they were done? If they said they were done,
Who?
the drive-by truckers, because like they never pretended to be done, and I feel like they know that if they ever did say they were done, like it would be traumatizing to them. To the point where they're like, we can only do this once. But I say that because I think Rage actually is similar. I know other people that it's almost like a life goal just to see them live.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could have probably, you know, like, it's weird because, like, I didn't start seeing shows regularly until, you know, 93, 94. But I remember, like, when Rage Against the Machine was playing Atlanta in, like, 98 or whatever. And, I mean, I was 16, but not that, I don't think my parents would have been down for it, but I could have technically driven to Atlanta to see him. But I think part of it was it didn't dawn on me that I could just drive and
Do it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just, I think part of it was when I was in Orlando, we just went to see a show. We just
What took you to Orlando in the first place?
I had the college program at Disney World.
Right, but you stayed after that, right?
No, I was just, it was an 8-month,
Literally
it
only
was
there
a,
8 months. Okay.
yeah, from January to August.
It sounds like that for 8 months. Like I thought you were there longer because it just sounded very productive for you. And like, do you consider yourself an artist?
I mean, I think so to some degree. I mean, documentarian, like,
Yeah.
in
I mean,
artists.
I struggle with this myself sometimes, where it's like.
I mean, there's some photos I take that I like, that really like have an artistic, you know, I think are more artistic than others. But
you
like it's
approach that differently if you're trying to take like artistic photos versus like documenting something.
not really. I just
Yeah.
try to frame it however looks good at the moment. But there are certain images that are more striking than others.
Sure.
But I'm not like consciously doing that. But
Well, I think this actually plays into something I was talking about with Jen earlier. Is like just because it's not conscious or intentional, it's inherent.
yeah,
Whatever looks good to you,
yeah,
might inherently be what you end up taking a photo of, and like the decision making might just happen at a different point in the process.
yeah. That's
You know
true.
what I mean? Like it's like Jen was like, I don't know what I did other than just be in the right place in the right time. And I was like, you had the wherewithal to be in the right place in the right time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It's like, that's another, like, what I love about seeing live music so much is you never know what's going to happen. Like, anything can happen. I mean, I saw a band break up before they even hit the stage.
I saw John Neff walk out on the middle of a band set last night. It was fucking weird. No, I'm just kidding. It was totally planned. He left in the middle of Slightly Famous somebody's.
He only had 3 sets that night.
Yeah, he only had 3 sets yesterday. But also, come on, John. How professional. I'm only saying that because John and I have known each other for like 15 years. And I've been trying to nail down the time to interview him this weekend. And obviously, he's like
busy
the
man.
busiest man in Athens this weekend. But every interview I've done has talked about him. So every time I see him, I'm like, hey, so last night, Slightly Famous Somebodies and I decided that you're PJ Neff. Good job, Neff. And he's like, yes. And then I'm like, today, I'm like, oh, it's Neff Fest, by the way. It's not AthFest anymore. It's Neff Fest.
Yeah.
He just laughed. But he's also like the most like hard person to like, I mean, you know, because he's playing 3 shows, he's like, I don't have, like, when would I talk to you? That being said, I think we're going to talk tomorrow.
Good.
But
yeah, it's
being in the right place at the right time, I think, yeah, some of that's luck. Some of that is knowing to be in the right place at the right time.
I mean, sometimes you have a feeling something special might happen, but there's just no guarantee. But yeah, I mean, like I said, that's what I love about seeing live music is you never know what's going to happen.
How often do you photograph something where you're like, I think this is incredibly special, and then like nobody gives a fuck? Because I feel like that happens to me, just like a show that's going to happen. I'm like, can you believe these people are playing Tallahassee or whatever?
There's definitely bands that I see that I get really excited about, but people don't have the same excitement I do. And I think today we're so bombarded with just information from all different directions. It's hard to know what to pay attention to, but people recommend music to me, and I try to I say I'll check that out, and I try to right then and there add it to my my playlist so to check out. But yeah, there's definitely bands that have played Athens that I get really excited about. I'm like, can you believe they're playing? And then it'll be not many people there. I'm this is special for the 100 of us that are here, but they're probably never come.
People show up to those shows for you because when you.
At the 40 Watt or something.
Yeah. I'm just saying when I feel that way in Tallahassee, there's 12 of us there.
Oh well, that could happen in a smaller venue.
But I think that's the difference between Tallahassee and Athens. Is even 100 people at a show I gave a shit about in Tallahassee would be what? Oh, fuck yeah! Showed up to this. Whereas in Athens, I can understand where that would be really. There's only 100.
Well, it depends on the venue. 100 at the 40 Watt seems pretty sad looking, but 100 at Flickr, that's packed out.
You literally, I don't think you can fit more than 5 more than 100. So, if Rage is on your bucket list, who was? All right, 2 questions. Who was the band that, or maybe not the band, but what was the moment, if there was one, where you realized, okay, this isn't just a hobby, people think this is important. Was it COVID or did it happen before then? I know you took it more seriously after COVID because people were relying on it a lot.
Well, I guess COVID made me appreciate it for myself more, because I realized it could stop at any time, and so when shows started back, I even started taking more photos at shows following COVID because, like, I found myself, like, wishing I had more photos of certain shows. But, like, what kind of made me realize it was more than just taking photos and putting them up on my website was it wasn't necessarily, I mean, I love this band, but it wasn't the band itself. But what happened was I took photos of this band, Bit Brigade. And they weren't called Bit Brigade at that time, but it was the same band. But I took some photos of them, and Flagpole here in Athens reached out to me and wanted to use one of my photos for a story they were doing on Bit Brigade. And that started a relationship with Flagpole of them coming to me when they needed photos of local bands. And so
also, like, it probably boosted your confidence too.
Yeah, I'm like, the fact that they're reaching out and they like the photos enough to want to publish them, that meant a lot. And
you knew to be there and take the photo.
Yeah, and that gave me motivation to go to more shows because I was like, well, if this means, because it happened to be where, like, I had the only photos of these local bands in town, and Flagpole wanted to run stories and do things with these bands, and so I was like, well, it just made me more motivated to go out more and more, and then still work with Flagpole on stuff, and that's like nearly 20 years now, and so that kind of, and then a couple of years after I started working with.
That allow you to, like, invest in better equipment? Like, when you started getting paid for photos, like, mentally, were you spending a lot of money on camera stuff? Or was it once it started making money, you were like, okay, I can reinvest some of this?
So I had my point and shoot camera in 2004, 2005, and then I moved to Athens and started going to a lot more shows, and I was working for the University of Georgia and the College of Ed, and they could check out equipment to people.
Okay.
And so I started checking out the DSLR to myself.
Oh, interesting.
And so I would bring that to shows, and then it was not really a lens that was good for concert photography. It was like a kit lens. So I took my tax return that year and put it toward, like, my first, like, DSLR for night, and bought a DSLR, a Nikon DSLR, and then a lens, and started using that. And then basically any money that I've made from photography, I just use it to put back into photography, whether it be, new lenses or travel for shows or whatever it is. So but yeah, I mean, so Flagpole gave me a boost of confidence, and then a couple of years after that, like in 2008, 2009, Paste magazine, they reached out to me and asked me if I would like to contribute. And
they're online only now. But
they were print at the time. I think it was quarterly, maybe, and
it was every other month, maybe.
I forget.
The record store I worked at carried it, so I was reading it whenever we were slow.
Okay. And so they asked me if I would like to contribute, and I was like, yeah, I would love to. And so AC/DC was coming, just announced a tour, so I was like, all right, I'm going to swing big. So I, like, asked if I could shoot AC/DC as, like, my first assignment or coverage for Paste, and they're like, okay. So it wasn't printed in the magazine, but photos ran online, and so that was, like, my first, like, big
you were published,
show.
You were assigned. You got, like, credentials.
Yeah, I got my first photo pass, and so that was at Phillips Arena. So that I was like, that was way bigger than anything that I had done.
And once you did that, all right, so the way I like to think about it is like the first time you walk through the forest. It's a little tough. You know, you got some vines to cut down. There might be some weeds with thorns that are going to cut your ankles. But the next day, if you walk that same path, like all the shit you walked over is kind of already cleared through. So, like, after shooting AC/DC at Phillips Arena, did you just find it to be kind of easier to just be in the moment, just be like, all right, this is what I'm doing? Or did it take...
It was sort of overwhelming.
Yeah.
I mean, because, you know, I grew up on listening to AC/DC, so, like,
yeah.
It took me, when I was up there, and they came out on stage, and Angus Young is right in front of me, just, like, ripping it. Honestly, I had to, like, I was in a daze. I was like, I can't believe that's him right in front of me. And then I, like, wasn't taking any photos. I was just kind of sitting there with my mouth open. And then I'm like, okay, I need to be taking photos. And then I took photos, but it did. You know, that first time, I was just like, I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Because it was like, it went from local bands to small touring bands to, like, all of a sudden these legends. And I was just like, okay, no, this is the next level. And so, like, but I mean, it made me... I mean, the next time, I don't remember what my next, like, big show was after that, but it did at least give me an idea of what to expect. I mean, it didn't chop all the vines and weeds down, but it, like, made the path a little easier.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And, like, but each band, each, like, concert is a little bit different than the last. Like, the band's going to have, like, different rules, or the venue's going to have, it's going to be slightly different.
Sure.
So
one of the big things, and this is something I've talked about with bands that tour, as well as, like, people like you and I that are just there. Is it, like, a big part of it is learning to be adaptable?
yeah.
And rolling with whatever the fuck's going on and just being cool with it. And
Yeah. That's definitely true. I mean, one of the big things about requesting photo credentials is
accepting it when they say no.
accepting it, and also not expect. Most of the time, you don't get approved until the day before or the day of.
Interesting.
So, like, you have to be mindful that, you know, it may not work out. You may not know.
You might not even go because you don't have tickets
yeah.
or anything.
Yeah. So I've probably I shot Depeche Mode in Atlanta, and they were at Lakewood, and I have my day job, so I'm sitting there bringing my camera to the office in preparation of going, and, like, it hits 5 o'clock and I still don't have an approval. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to drive to Atlanta and hope that I have an email waiting on me saying I'm approved. So I drove to Atlanta, and I parked and checked my email, and thankfully I got approved, and it worked out. But I've also had
faith, man.
I've also had I've also had situations where I've driven, and I now this is a lesson learned. Not that it's a lesson learned in that after that I started, okay, if I don't get an approval on the day of, if I'm going to make the drive to Atlanta anyway, I gotta have a plan B, because, like, if I don't want to drive to Atlanta for nothing. So I try to find, like, another concert. There's plenty.
Or strip club, or
So,
I've never been to
but so, like, and I had that happen where I didn't hear anything. I drove to Atlanta, parked at the venue, opened my phone, still nothing. I'm like, and it was sold out show, so I couldn't even buy a ticket.
Right.
So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to do my plan B, and it worked out okay. I mean, it's not as, I mean, it's it kind of, it doesn't hurt as bad, or when you still get to do something fun, you're like it's just not your primary thing. But yeah, I've definitely learned that.
Let's talk about these photo collages that you've been doing the last couple of years. You've been doing them for a number of venues around town. And I say town, Athens, Georgia. At least 3, not 2, 3.
Yeah, there's been 3 total, yeah.
And then you've done AthFest, which I can go, whatever, we know what it looks like. You already signed them all, so I couldn't even be like, will you sign it for me, Mike?
I can sign it again.
All right, I'll go get it. I'm going to have you do that. I'm going to hold you to do that. Stop blocking any of the good pictures. But, all right, for those that don't know what I'm talking about, this man has taken photos from various venues and then orchestrated them into collages of the logos of said venues or events in the case of AthFest. Where did the idea for that come from? I think it's amazing. I think it's that's one of the coolest ways to commemorate an event or a venue or something that has so much going on.
Oh, cool. Thanks. Yeah, so I've done 3 total. I did one for the 40 watt, which was all photos that I had taken at the 40 watt over the years. I did one at Caledonia, which is all Caledonia photos. And then recently I did the AthFest one, which is all photos of the AthFest throughout the years. And
which year? How many AthFests?
Just the one. Just this year was the first year.
How many AthFests have there been until is this the 25th?
I mean, there's been 26 total, but I've only been going to them since 2006.
I mean that's fine. We're only as old as we are.
Yeah.
I think my first one was 2010. But it's the 26th one in 2025 for the record of everything.
Which, I made an edition of 25, and I probably should have made an edition of 26 in hindsight, because it's 26 years, 20. But anyway.
Fuck that 26 motherfucker. That dude procrastinated. He didn't deserve that.
But the idea came about, I can't quite remember where I saw it, but I saw someone that made a photo collage. And I'm like, that's really cool. I'm like, the idea of it's cool. And then I was like, I wish there was a way I could somehow do a photo collage. And then...
Are you really into jigsaw puzzles or something?
No.
So I understand thinking it's cool. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Where does that turn into? I want to organize how many photos are in these collages?
The AthFest one is over 700.
So what makes you feel like I want to organize 700 photos to make it the idea is awesome. It sounds like the work could be pretty tedious.
Actually, I cheat a little.
I'm gonna take all of the albums out with AI.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. We're gonna sound way smarter.
But I use a program to so I go through all the photos and I pick out my favorites from each AthFest year, and then I upload them to a website that will actually do the work of compiling the mosaic.
The color.
Yeah, you upload them. You upload what you want your main image to be, and then you upload all of the smaller images, and you have to crop them the way you want them to appear. Mostly just people's faces.
Like I said, it sounds pretty tedious.
I'm not manually placing the photo tiles all the locations, but the website figures out based off the colors of the photos where to place them, and it also there's different settings you can do on how opaque you want the main image to be, and there's ways to tweak it.
Isn't that really what we should be using technology for? Is like the shit that I'm like, that would be really tedious, and you're like, no. I did the fun shit, and the computer did the hard like the tedious bullshit, and then I was able to like put my like vision on it, but at the end of the day, like the computer found the matching colors and the matching, and helped me crop some things, but I'm just thinking about like AI generated, like fully generated things versus, the fact that I still have to do my own fucking laundry.
Yeah, it's
weird, right?
Yeah.
So a common theme that's come up on this podcast is like, yeah, the technology could be cool if it weren't for the fucking billionaires.
I mean, I have a lot, I work, my day job is in the IT world, so I have a love-hate relationship. Technology is nice when it works. And
I was a TA for a class called Science and Film in grad school. And the first movie we'd show people was Jurassic Park. And then we'd ask them, if science was a character in Jurassic Park, is it good or evil? And I mean, really, we were looking for an answer, and the answer was like, neither. It's what people do with science. But I mean, I think that's true with the thing that's interesting about that is when you apply it to science, you're like, oh, wait, that's true for art, of course, but it's also true for like everything that's constructed by humans.
Yeah.
Whether it be nuclear power, environmentalism, photos. I mean, sometimes photos can be used for evil, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to even get into examples of it, but there's literally types of photographs that are inherently illegal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, at what point do you view anything that you're doing as, like, having moral value, or are you just like, I'm just fucking riding this wave, and I'm lucky to be here?
I mean, I will say that some of the photo editing software that I use, the photo editing software I use has started adding AI, like, functionality to it.
How does that make you feel?
I mean, it's...
and I will just say, like, this is new to all of us, so I don't think any of us have, like, solid positions on any of it.
The way my feelings is, if you can use it as a tool, like, it's all about... I mean, this goes for photo editing, too. I don't really try to edit my photos that much. Some people, they go... In my opinion, they go way overboard with editing, and I try to have a light touch on it. Same, I think, applies for AI. Some things that I think are actually cool about it, or there's a plug-in that, not plug-in, but a feature of Lightroom where you can make, let's say you take a photo and you like, for instance, a photo that I took like 20 years ago, you want to make a big print of it, but the digital file doesn't have enough resolution to be able to print it
AI can
big.
Like fill in dots there.
Yeah, you can like basically double the resolution of the image.
I think there's like a whole series of World War I or II footage that was shot in black and white that they've been able to colorize with AI.
Yeah.
And it just turned. Spielberg directed a lot of it, but it's like, and I agree completely. You can use AI as a tool. Like, I'll kind of sum it up with this, and then give you a chance to promote anything you'd like to promote. Remember when our teachers told us we weren't going to have calculators in our pockets all goddamn time?
Yeah.
Did your photography teacher ever tell you that you weren't going to have a camera with you all the time?
Well, I mean, I actually never had a photography teacher. So...
That kind of makes my point. Is that, like, certain things are just, like, what we do. And humans, like, document, categorize, whatever. And what I think is interesting about both you and Jen Bryant, who I talked to earlier today, and myself, I think we all have this in common. It's like we just kind of like were ourselves, loved what we loved, and like stumbled into something kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And what I would say about that is like, be yourself and do what you want to do, and hopefully like you're gonna find your people and what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I moved to Athens not knowing anyone, and I knew I loved music, I knew I liked photography, and I went out all the time, and I just instantly found this whole community that was welcoming to me, like as a new to town, and made so many friends, and yeah.
I make new friends every time I visit, man. It really is a magical place, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it was just wild that like I got here and I would see a show, and then I would talk to someone and be like, oh, my other band is playing next week. And so I would go see their other band, and then I would meet two more people, and then they're like, oh, our other band. So like people in Athens...
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon is like 2 degrees of
Yeah.
John Neff.
Yeah, so it's wild to think it's almost been 20 years I've been here, but I mean, I've met so many really cool people, and super talented people, and you know, it's just been really, I still love going out there and taking photos and just taking photos of people doing what they do, and
If people want to buy prints of your photos, where can they find you online? Do you have that available?
Yeah, you can go to www.deadlydesigns.com is my website. I basically upload everything that I've ever taken since 2006 is up there. You can order prints off the website too. If you're local to Athens, you can also go by Sealy's, a couple of doors down from Luxury Records. There's physical prints for sale there. And then if you would like to follow me on social media, I have Instagram, which is @DeadlyDesigns, and I'm posting photos there as well.
Sweet. I'll make sure there's links to all of that in the description of the episode. Is there anything else you got going on like this summer that you think people should know that's happening? Or just even something like you're a big fan. Is there anything you're a big fan of that you think people should check out this summer?
I mean, my favorite band, Nine Inch Nails, is going out on tour, so I'm excited about that.
Let's go.
So they're coming to Atlanta in September.
+1, man.
So I'm looking forward to that. I actually have met a lot of friends through Nine Inch Nails, so I'm going to see some shows with them out on the West Coast, so I'm excited about that. And
you ever seen Weird Al perform Germs?
I did see...
It's like a style parody.
Yeah. I did see him do that, like the like kind of the non-parody, but the originals in the style of tour.
Yeah,
and
I saw that too.
I forget if they played that or not. It's like
definitely did in one of them. I saw. Yeah, I think he did. Yeah.
Because
I'll send you a music video.
Okay. Because I know that they played Dare to Be Stupid. That's like another one.
I was wearing my Dare to Be Stupid shirt last night. It's an old Dare shirt.
Oh, nice.
But instead of to keep kids off drugs, it says to be stupid.
Nice. Are you going to see him on this tour?
I think so. And I really want to talk to Puddles.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Puddles is opening the whole tour. I've seen him 8 times. Weird Al, like, is one of my first concerts. Not my first. I think my first was, like, Merle Haggard and Leon Rimes at, like, a festival in Swanee Music Park. And Merle was trashed, and I was like, maybe one day I'll marry Leanne Rimes. because I was like 11. She was like 14. I was like, that's not a stretch.
It can happen.
Yeah, exactly. But one of my, like the first concert that I ever really gave a shit about, like Weird Al.
Nice.
And one of the last concerts that I really gave a shit about was Weird Al.
I love Weird Al. Like, I mean, I've seen him 3 times, I think, now.
Oh, yeah.
And
well, let's find a show in the fall together. Let's go together. Like, if you don't have tickets and I don't have tickets.
Okay.
Let's find a show. Let's do it.
All right. Sounds good.
I know he's playing like New Orleans, St. Augustine. Yeah.
I know that I'm hoping to take photos of the Charlotte show. I know that's kind of a ways from you, but
I mean, if Puddles wants to talk to me, I can go anywhere in the country. Mike, it's been fucking awesome talking to you, man. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we cut this off? The thing is, I think I could just talk to you all night and drink beers and whatever. But we've had a long weekend, man.
No, other than thank you for having me, and it was great to talk with you.
Awesome. Well, check out Deadly Designs. I'll have everything linked in the description. And I guess the last thing I'll say is, like, how did you get like the AthFest photographer, like official AthFest photographer gig? Was that just because you've worked with Flagpole so much over the years and they finally knew who to hire, or like what's going on?
Well, so I started as the official AthFest photographer. This is my 3rd year.
3rd year, okay.
And previously they didn't have an official photographer.
So did you create that job for yourself?
Well, they had interns do it. And Mary Joyce, who's the executive director of AthFest Educates.
She's been wonderful every time I've interacted with her this weekend. She's great.
She became executive director, and one of the things that she wanted was to have an official photographer and an official videographer, just because that was something that they didn't have. And and I had seen Mary play in various bands over the years.
Can you name a couple of them?
Maximum Busy Muscle was one of them.
That's a fucking cool name.
Awesome band, awesome name, awesome people. I don't think they're an active band right now. And she was also in a band called the Incendiaries.
Yeah.
And so when the idea of having an official photographer came up, she thought of me, and we had kept in touch over the years. And so she reached out and asked me if I was interested. She's like, well, you're already doing it. She's like,
I just want to make it official.
Yeah, because I was before that I was taking photos for Flagpole. I think they had a few people taking them. For a while, I would take them just for Flagpole, but then they got someone else, so I was taking kind of supplemental photos. But I mean, I've been taking photos to some degree, almost every year. But yeah, so she reached out and asked me if I was interested, and I was like, yeah, of course.
Does the Pope shit?
Yeah. Yes.
Mike, it's been fucking awesome talking to you, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Check out Deadly Designs. All the photos, the design, I'm going to have everything linked in the description. I'm going to stop talking now.
Bye.
That was my interview with Mike White. He and I are definitely kindred spirits. We're going to go try and see Weird Al together at some point. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Check out his photography. Everything's linked in the descriptions. Deadly Designs. Don't miss out. He's got prints for sale. And I've got that collage sitting right here. And let me tell you, it's pretty incredible. It was a pleasure talking to him. I hope it was a pleasure listening. Y'all have a great week.